Let me start with today's search. Up to 10 military planes, 4 civil jets and 9 ships will assist in today's search. The Australian Maritime Safety Authority has determined a search area of about 217,000 square kilometres, and that area is 1,700 kilometres northwest of Perth. Today's search area will focus on 3 areas within the same broad vicinity. The first aircraft departed for the search area at 6 o'clock Western Standard Time this morning. A total of 26 State Emergency Service volunteers from Western Australia, New South Wales and Victoria will work as air observers on 3 of the civil aircraft. The other civil aircraft will operate as a communications relay. The weather forecast for today's search is fair, with visibility at about 10 kilometres and a cloud base between 1,000 and 2,000 feet. The Royal Australian Navy and Royal Navy have today commenced a subsurface search for emissions from the black box pinger from Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. Using the towed pinger locator from the United States Navy on Australian Defence Vessel Ocean Shield and a similar capability on HMS Echo, the 2 ships will search a single 240 kilometre track converging on each other. And of course, if you want to get into more detail about that, I have the Commodore to assist me with taking any questions on that subject. The Australian Anzac class frigate HMAS Perth has been tasked to assist with the search for the missing aircraft. HMAS Perth will take approximately 4 days to reach the search area. And of course, as I mentioned yesterday, the Malaysian frigate Ketua will arrive in the search area at 1800 tomorrow. As you're aware, Prime Minister Najib visited Western Australia yesterday. I briefed him in relation to the establishment of the Joint Agency Coordination Centre. Prime Minister Najib announced that Australia has accepted Malaysia's invitation to participate as an accredited representative in the investigation, and we will continue to work closely together to draw up a comprehensive formal agreement. Let me tell you a little bit more about that. Under the Chicago Convention, the accident investigation into the disappearance of MH370 is the responsibility of Malaysia. However, to support its investigation, Malaysia requested that Australia lead the search for the missing aircraft and participate in the investigation as an accredited representative. An accredited representative is a full participant in the investigation so that additional skills and expertise can be provided to the investigation team. Australia agreed both to lead the search and, as an accredited representative, to provide all necessary support to the Malaysian investigation. The United States, the United Kingdom and China are also accredited representatives. An Australian team of 4 senior investigators is currently in Kuala Lumpur with backgrounds in aircraft operations, aircraft maintenance, aeronautical engineering and human factors. This team also ensures that relevant investigation information, such as the complex calculations of the aircraft's likely flight path, is fed into the search strategies and the tasking of search aircraft and ships. Senior officials of Malaysia and Australia are currently drawing up a comprehensive agreement regarding Australia's role in the search and the broader investigation. This agreement will set out such matters as the critical decision points in the search, the handling of accident victims, the custody and analysis of the aircraft wreckage, and the downloading of information from any flight recorders that may be recovered. Yesterday, I advised that based on the continuing flow of information, the search area was adjusted to move the area a little bit further north. There is nothing unusual about this. Day by day, the Australian Transport Safety Bureau continues to refine the area where the aircraft may have entered the water, based on continuing groundbreaking and multidisciplinary technical analysis of the satellite communications and aircraft performance passed from the International Air Crash Investigative Team. I might add these are experts, the leading experts in the field in the world today. This means the search area will be adjusted on a semi-regular basis. I would also like to let you know that yesterday I had the opportunity to meet with the CEO of Malaysian Airlines. We had a very constructive meeting, and I am pleased with the way arrangements are progressing. The West Australian Government is also working to ensure all the necessary arrangements to support the families are being put into place. The West Australian Premier, Colin Barnett, has conveyed to me the importance he places on hosting the families and the very good assistance that he intends to provide to them when they arrive in Perth. On Monday, I was asked a question at the press conference as to which ships are carrying helicopters. Let me just provide you with those details now. HMAS Toowoomba has an S-70B2 Sikorsky Seahawk embarked. HMAS Success has an MRH-90 helicopter embarked. The Malaysian frigate Leque has a Super Lynx 300 helicopter embarked. The People's Liberation Army Navy has deployed 6 military ships in the search area. One is a landing helicopter dock that has up to 6 helicopters embarked. The Chinese Polar Supply Vessel has an embarked helicopter. That concludes my introductory remarks. We're now ready to take any questions that you might have. Yes.
Did you get any information from Malaysia, which is about the case has been turned into a criminal investigation, especially it is reported that some fruit has been planted by some explosive devices. Did you get any information about that?
We are focused very much on the search for the downed aircraft and to make all the necessary arrangements to facilitate that search and what might follow the search when the aircraft is followed. I've seen the reporting from Malaysia about criminal investigations, but it's not relevant to the work that we have to do here in Australia at the moment in regard to the search and recovery operation.
How about the direction of the investigation? If there's a criminal case or a non-criminal, any differences in the direction of investigation?
I might suggest that I think that's an avenue that you should perhaps pursue with the authorities in Malaysia, because they are the ones who are looking at these aspects of investigation.
Paula Newton, CNN. Thank you so much for giving us those helicopter numbers. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
In terms of actually getting to that 240 kilometers, why is the towing locator being launched in that area specifically? And I know HMS Echo is also involved. Why pick that area?
Well, that area has been picked because on the basis of the analysis, and as you know, it's on the basis of the 6 hours of pings we have the exchange between the satellite, the MNISAT satellite and the aircraft on an hourly basis, and then there was an additional ping where we think the aircraft might have run out of fuel. On that, and on an incredible amount of work that has gone on in terms of how the aircraft might have been flown, how it might have performed, a lot of simulation work by various people. The area of highest probability as to where the aircraft might have entered the water is the area where the underwater search will commence, and obviously that's what must be done, and it's on the basis of data that only arrived very recently, and it's the best data that is available. So it's calculated data. As you know, the last known position of the aircraft was up near the Malacca Straits, and we're in an area many thousands of kilometres south of that position. So I think it's important that we let that proceed, and hopefully the calculations are putting us into about the right area. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, that's fine. So that's
Yes, Paul.
Yeah, we've heard the term groundbreaking used a couple of times in recent days.
Yeah.
That suggests ground is being broken on this. Can you give us a bit more detail what ground is being broken?
I think ATSB are probably the people that best placed. But let me start. Before this aircraft disappeared, everything was turned off. The only thing that was available to the investigators and the searchers was the pings, which were an exchange between the NMARSAT satellite and the aircraft. Those pings occurred on an hourly basis. There was no indication of airspeed, no indication of altitude, very little other data other than that. Now, what has happened since then is the analysts have taken that data, they've developed it, they've taken the calculations into consideration. They've looked at how the aircraft might have performed, the likely flight path, the speed at which it might have been flown, the altitude at which it might have been flown, and all of that has been fused to try and determine where the aircraft might have entered the water. And of course, the other thing that you must weigh into this is how much fuel was aboard the aircraft and so on, fuel burn and so on. So it's very complex, and we've had the world's best experts in this area analyse the data, and over a period of time that data has been refined. I think we've probably got to the end of the process of analysis, and my expectation is that we're into a situation where the data we've got is the data we've got, and we'll proceed on the basis of that. Now, what is so different about this search is that most times, everything I've ever been involved in, you usually have a really good starting point, which is not too distant from the area of search. In this particular case, the last known position is several thousand kilometres north of the likely search area. So we're moving into an area we've never been before, and may I say, I think this groundbreaking analytical work has been simply extraordinary, and it gives us I think, some hope that we will eventually find the aircraft in the area that we're searching.
Chief,
Yeah.
this is Swati from Reuters. Wanted to understand if you could give us a cost estimate as to how much money is being spent overall on this mission.
Well, I might come back to you in a future media conference, because it's a lot of money, and I wouldn't be able to put a definitive estimate to you at this stage, but perhaps we can have a look at that and come back to you at a later stage.
Not even how much Australia is spending, if not the overall cost?
Well, I think at a future conference I might be able to give you some indicator of
And
how much.
Are you planning to put in more TPLs in it? Because more topping locators, because the area is vast and time is running out. So, do you think there could be more topping locators that could go on the waters?
Well, we've got the towed pinger on the Ocean Shield, which is the Australian vessel with US Navy equipment, the towed pinger. But HMS Echo, the British ship, also has some fairly sophisticated underwater search gear, and we've got a couple of other devices that can assist with the search, which can be dropped from the air. In terms of towed pingers, I don't think we'd be able to get another one in a hurry. These are in very scarce supply, and at this stage there are no plans to bring another one in.
So how much time do you think you have before the black box locator battery dies out?
Well, on best advice, the locator beacon will last about a month before it ceases its transmissions. So we're now getting pretty close to the time when it might expire.
We're getting close to the point where a surface search is becoming futile, and we need to purely rely on an underwater search.
No, not at all. And let me just say that this is a vast area, an area that's quite remote, and we'll continue the surface search for a good deal more time, because the break if we find a piece of wreckage on the surface, or some evidence on the surface that the aircraft went into the water nearby, that gives us a much better datum to start the underwater search than we've currently got. I mean, the datum we've got is the best available on the evidence that's available right now. But if we were to find debris on the surface, that enables us to perhaps, with the calculation of the ocean drift and all the rest of it, we might be able to come up with a much more definitive datum with which to start the underwater search, or continue the underwater search.
Given the time that's passed, how likely is it to find something so close to the surface?
Sorry,
Given the time that's passed,
yes.
how likely to find something so close to the surface?
I think there's still great possibility of finding something on the surface. There's lots of things in aircraft that float. I mean, in previous searches, life jackets have appeared, which can be connected to the aircraft that was lost. In fact, one of the most famous investigations of all time, when the British Comet jet disappeared over the Mediterranean, the key piece of evidence there was a life jacket.
The thing is, if the black box, the back crew use that, then how do you continue?